crazy situations. I guess it's time to level up. KJ, welcome back to the Lonely Road.
Cheers, buddy.
Is that the first time that we've seen each other since we started this fucking show in person?
Uh, we okay. So did we start the show after the pizza Joshua ceremony?
We might have. I just don't know when I gave you the mic. That's a big point of when we started, obviously, because you couldn't record before that.
I think that the memorial was after that. So
Oh,
we saw each other with you brought me the mic, and then we saw each other at the memorial, and then we saw each other yesterday.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, congratulations to my sister and her baby shower and everything else.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was a good time. It was a hell of a lot rougher than I thoroughly expected it to be.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of expected Brie to be feeling off and not okay and everything else, and turned out to be me. And I was like, I don't know how to handle this without making a big deal, so I just kind of sluck outside and kind of just held it. But it was a rough time, but I handled myself pretty damn well.
You absolutely did. You absolutely did. You couldn't tell if you weren't talking to you, if you couldn't tell that you were having issues. I did go over to Brie, gave her a hug and asked if she was doing all right. And she, reassured me and hopefully that it
She
was
told me straight out. She's like, "I am sorry that you weren't okay. I was okay though, and I'm really proud of myself for being able to do
good.
that." I was like, "I am too."
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of her for that. I'm very proud of her for engaging. I'm proud of her. Proud of you both for coming. I'm proud of the kids for the way they behaved. It was just, I mean, there was kids all over the place, and some were behaving, some were not behaving so well, and it was, it was at times pandemonium. But the best part about the whole thing was just the look on Katie's face with the show
Yeah.
out. It was an amazing show up for your sister, and I'm really glad. I'm glad that
Yeah,
happened. So
she
thank you.
deserved every single second of it. I'm happy that it went good. I tried my
Everybody.
damnedest to keep myself somewhat level-headed through so much.
You
of it,
did,
and I
though. I
just
mean,
be
that's what
okay.
I'm saying. That's the level up that I was talking about earlier, man. You gotta give yourself credit. You have to, first of all, Brie's got to give herself credit, and I'm glad she is giving herself credit. She's goddamn proud of herself, and she should be. You need to give yourself absolute credit, double time, because not only did you take this situation, the baby shower, came to the baby shower with your girl, with your 3 kids, and you were able to come to a family event that was surrounded by that topic, and you were able to keep it together, knowing that your youngest was having emotional trauma with having to go home that day, and she was showing a little bit of that more towards the end when she had to go, and then having to leave and deal with that whole situation. But no, you didn't just stay home and get behind the computer or go into your bedroom. You came back to that hall and you finished out that event for your sister. That is the level up that I'm talking about. Because, I mean, you had some trauma and there were some reasons why you couldn't go to the wedding, and you were getting through your stuff. And clearly you leveled up and got through it because you pushed through that, Zach. And I'm really, really proud of you, man.
Yeah, well, in all honesty, those same exact pains and stuff. The reason why I didn't go to the wedding as a whole, I dealt with the same things at the funeral. Like, obviously, it's a family event. There's going to be people that aren't just discounted because they have to be around.
Right.
And watching everybody in that situation outwardly protect me, it was weird because I don't expect that. I don't expect it from anybody, regardless of if it's you, my mom, any of my aunts or uncles, or my brothers, or even Katie. I don't expect them to be looking out for me and making sure they know where I need to be okay. And this person's in this room, keep Zach out of the fucking situation because we don't know how the fuck he's going to handle that one.
We don't need any of that.
You just don't expect those things. And once that level of intent was in something, I was kind of able to let it go and be okay.
Yeah.
Even in a situation where I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And even with situations with like people that were around that absolutely had no reason to be and were disrespectful in situations. Like it was just this weekend was a weird situation. And I was like, I don't want Katie to worry about all this, but at the same time, it's like it fucking happened.
Hmm.
And it is a weird place of growth to kind of look at everything in a ball and be like, I don't know how the hell I made it out of this place in this exact light, but I did. I
You
don't get
did.
it.
You made it out the other side. You know, when you're walking through hell, I was always told to keep walking. You're going to come out the other side eventually.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a weird thing. It really is. Like
Yeah.
eh, I walk outside because I needed 5 minutes. Like all of the Joshua stuff hit me in the face. Like looking at baby stuff was fucking
I
hard.
mean, you were holding your for all intents and purposes your brother Joshua's child. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, you were having some feelings. You're allowed to
Yeah.
have them. You're allowed to sit with them for a minute.
So I stepped outside and I was like, I know I'm fully gonna blow my eyes out as soon as I walk out this door and I'm not exactly sure what I'm feeling, but I need to get out of here because it's not about me. And I knew that. I had the car keys in my pocket. Bree left me with the car keys because I think she internally kind of understood that I was already having a rough weekend as it was. And if I need something, I was going to be the one that was going to exchange the kids and everything else. Much easier for me to not have to look for them. I was just like, I'm going to go sit in the car and just bawl my eyes out for 10 minutes if that's what I have to do. And I walked outside and I saw my sister sitting there bawling her eyes out, my youngest sister. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, no, this isn't me time anymore. And I stood there with her until like it got fucking the fucking wolves descended and condescending bullshit happened. But it's just like it's weird how different I am, but it's also how weird that I'm so similar to what I was at 14.
yeah. It's interesting
Like
how you've
that,
bounced back
yeah.
quickly.
Like, and I was having this conversation with my mom because she came to me and she's like, Zach, I want help. I was like, yes, I got you. I'm right here by your side. I'll be your accountability buddy. I got you. And I told her, I was like, I'm proud of you. I was like, the fact that you had the balls to ask the person who is the loudest and most obnoxious about everything you're going through. You didn't ask Katie, who's very, very quiet and shy. You didn't ask Bella, who's going to cater to every single thing you're feeling. You asked me, who's going to be loud, obnoxious, and stomp on your toes if you decide to be an asshole.
Yeah, because she wants the accountability. She wants her feet held to the fire because she wants change.
Yeah, I was so proud of her.
It's great.
But she's like, as much as you've changed, you're still the person that guides the family, regardless of if you have realized it or not at 14 years old. And it's like it's so weird and surreal to kind of realize that and feel that. Like no matter what it is, I've kind of always put everything that I felt by the side to help whoever fucking needs it anyway. And it's just like everything's kind of just showing that, hey, I still have that capability. It's okay.
Yeah, you
I can be
totally
stoic
got
if
that
I
from
need to.
yeah, you totally got that from your mom. Your mom, to a fault, she will put herself and everything else aside to help somebody that she loves. Um, she's she's learning and has learned a
Yeah.
lot about that. And putting herself in peril is not the way to help other people. You know, she's climbing out of that rut, but I
Yeah.
am very proud of her. She has definitely
I had a
come a
pretty
long
a
way.
pretty rough conversation with her the other day. And she knows I don't say anything without her kind of sign off on me talking about certain things. I told her, I was like, there are certain situations in this life, just like I dealt with you, is like, if I'm a lifeguard and you're drowning right now, and one of us is going to drown while I'm trying to save you, and you're trying to pull me under, it's going to be you. Sometimes you have to lift your hands up and say, I can't save this one. And that is such a hard realization, especially when you're in such an in-depth situation of like you care about all these people, you don't want anybody to drown, and you're like, hey, I can't do this. I
But that's
can't.
theirs to do.
Yeah, but it's so hard to realize that when you are the savior for fucking everybody.
Oh, for sure.
It,
I mean, you absolutely have to come to a place of, yeah, I'm an integral part of my family, and a lot of people, even my mom, looks up to me for guidance or XYZ. And you yourself have to kind of separate that to the humility of knowing um, what you can and can't do, first of all. And then secondly, you know, making them level themselves up, because you've given them the grounding that they need to do that.
yeah.
It's now on them to do that level up, because if they don't, they're going to stay at the same level. And your cheat codes aren't going to work because you're doing them wrong.
Yeah, you're trying to jump 15 levels and you can only jump 5. Like a lot of it is so hard to fucking explain. And it's hard to look at. Like looking at that entire situation, I know exactly why the Joshua shit hit me so hard. It's the text that happened on Friday. It's Ava looking at me and telling me I don't want to leave daddy. It's the fear in her eyes and wanting to just push away from a situation. And and I felt guilt for like 2, 3 days before Friday of like just not really realizing exactly what my feelings are. Like feeling guilty of like, I can't really protect anybody. Like everybody's still in this situation, whether it's my mom's, that one, whatever one of these situations you're talking about.
Mhm.
And I can't hold them out of it. And
No.
it's the hardest part of all of it is realizing and accepting, hey, you can't protect everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I felt, I feel with some people in my life, and I'm sure there's been people in, my life that have felt that way about me too. You so I know there was a time in my life where I was hard, hard to handle. Like just popping off the wall with misinformed mouth. And it's hard to take and it's hard to stand by, something like that. And the majority of people did not, family included.
Yeah.
And they chose to just abandon rather than see me through. And, those that have seen me through have definitely seen the better and best parts of me. Because
Yeah.
I was an asshole. And I didn't realize it. I always had the best of intentions, but I was an asshole in a lot of ways too. Good person, but also an asshole in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
It's,
so surreal to deal with those situations and feelings in real time and not let them fucking explode.
yeah, you have to. Um, that's just testament to the work, the real work that you've been doing. Because if you hadn't been absolutely doing, and who I never really understood what the work was. You have to do the work. You have to look inside yourself. You have to love yourself. Like that, those you can say those things until the cows come home, but unless you know what that means for you, unless you're
Well,
willing to
honestly,
look inwards in order to do that leveling.
those dumbass fucking responses of, oh, you need to do the work, you need to look in yourself. That's not how anybody should fucking explain this shit.
No,
Eh,
because you don't know what it means.
Well, it means nothing. It's so vague and so open-ended. It's like, oh, do the work. It's like, okay, I cut my toenails this morning. Is that a step in the right direction? It's like, no, dude, that's not what you're talking about. Like as a whole, like the work to fix yourself or put yourself back together or change a fucking response or change how you're seeing something is to actually put yourself in that fucking situation 50 fucking times until you get it fucking right and then do it 20 more times so that way you actually learn the response correctly.
Mhm.
I
Not
remember when
avoiding
yeah, I
the
remember
situation.
when Bree first started coming and staying and being around me more. She would get aggressive and get frustrated because like that's what she's used to. She
Mhm.
was used to somebody raising their voice and it being a big problem. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna continually push her buttons like that. and we're going to work on this. Not because I'm an asshole, but because I want you to be okay. I want you to realize that trauma, the trauma that you dealt with for so many years, isn't going to be the end. You can get past this and you can be okay.
Yeah.
Just like the weirdest one to me, and this is my sperm donor of a father through and through. Up until this year, I could not fucking listen to country music almost at all. Like no 90s, early 2000s country. And I enjoyed it. Like
Hmm.
I enjoy all music, but like I couldn't listen to it at all. It would trigger me to a point where like it would bring back nightmares just because
Yeah.
it's like a locational thing.
Hmm.
And now I'm okay enough to listen to it again. It's surreal.
Yeah. It's amazing to look back at the things that used to stop you in your tracks and know that it doesn't have to be like that anymore. Like I can be in an ultra stressful situation now, and I know it's happening, but I'm not having that fight or flight feeling anymore. It's the ability to stop and think about not a reaction, but how I'm going to act, how
Yeah.
I want to act, who I am, and let it reflect that in my act.
And I know crediting something other than doing the work is not the answer. But as we talked about last episode, I did start that supplement. I started doing exactly what I said I was going to do to see exactly how I felt. And in the past 2 weeks, I felt more clear headed. I feel like the filter that I have on my mind when I'm talking about things or going through a thought or trying to explain something is no longer there. Like I don't have to find the fucking words. The words already form the sentence and it goes. Like it's not fucking complex anymore. And that was really fucking hard for a little bit. It's weird.
That's pretty awesome.
It
Yeah.
said that it's not supposed to change anything in about 4 to 6 weeks, but I'm seeing improvement in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw. Yeah, I definitely saw improvement in myself early too. So it all depends on your chemistry, you know.
well, and I told Bree this after like 4 or 5 days. I was like, I feel slightly like I feel like when you use a knife so much that you break the tip off, it felt like
Mhm.
somebody just resanded the blade into a fucking fresh tip. And I'm like, I feel sharp. Like I feel like I'm fully there, and it's been a bit, and I feel good again. And it's weird, and I don't know exactly how to explain it. And she's like, no, we've had like 4 or 5 in-depth conversations. You've dealt with people that you absolutely shouldn't have been able to deal with the way you dealt with them. You turned them away. You made them look the other way because that's the way the answer is, and also got them to be completely behind you without anybody being like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm still sitting here being like, I don't think I would have been able to do that 2 weeks ago. I don't think I would have been able to do that a month ago. I wasn't as like on target as I am now.
No, the situation yesterday, I don't think you would have been able to handle just as well 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, I was insulted yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't teach your kids respect? What the fuck's your fucking problem?
Who said that?
I'll put it in the chat.
Hmm.
Oh, you don't make your kids stand up and hug them and hug people? Why the fuck do I want to touch you anyway, bitch?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that you don't make your kids hug people that they don't know or don't feel comfortable hugging. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and it's
I don't either.
crazy. It's really crazy when we walk up and we have not like us playing in the car. All the kids are singing. We get out. We see you. We all run over to you and give you a hug first. Brenda pops out of her car, run over. Everybody. Ava was the most fucking excited
Hmm.
to see Brenda I've
She
ever seen in my
was.
life.
That's awesome. Yeah, I thought that was amazing. Yeah.
Like the
Mhm.
COVID kid that doesn't fully like grasp humans yet, like just runs up to somebody and wraps her arms around. Fucking adorable.
It was.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like you're not going to tell me how to raise my kids.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
fuck you.
Yeah. No. Um. Yeah. No. I mean, it, That's the thing. And that person specifically, every time there's an interaction, there has to be some kind of beef
Yep.
with something, regardless of what it is. The
Oh,
something's got to be it, you know.
she
And
tried to be
it's
involved with me swapping the kids. Like, was just like, number one, my kid doesn't fucking know you.
mm,
Maddie doesn't even remember you. Why the fuck are you a part of this situation? Why the fuck are you over here? Leave me the fuck alone.
yeah, I
Like
don't know.
last time I talked to you, yeah, made colorful comments. You're lucky I don't run your face through the dirt.
Yeah, no, I don't. I there's a couple people that I have big problem with, and that's one of them. And I'm gonna just out and out tell you that it's because of the way she treats your mother, out and
Oh,
out blank.
oh,
Um,
I will never respond to her with clarity again after
I don't.
hearing that she didn't even greet Brie. She didn't even say anything to her. Like that's fucking unacceptable.
Hmm.
Unacceptable. Sorry.
But yet had something to say about your child not getting up and giving somebody they don't even
No,
know
me.
you. Oh, to your mom.
Yeah. But yet makes nasty ass fucking comments about me all the fucking time. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. You don't owe anybody anything. And just because that they are family doesn't mean that they would. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there.
No,
It
it just it goes to the point of exactly what we're talking about. Is like it doesn't matter how crazy the situation is.
mm,
You are in control of how you react. You're in control of
exactly.
however you're feeling in that moment. And Bree told me that on Friday. She's like, I don't know what was said, but you shouldn't let other people affect your feelings like this. And when she first said that, it fucking hurt because it's like I'm not telling you what the fuck's being said because I don't want you to react and make me like feel more. I need to figure out how I'm feeling and then I'll tell you what the fuck's going on because I can't. And it's just
Understand.
like, but it's so honestly the truth is like, if I can't fucking figure it out, I can't figure out how to make myself feel however I need to feel, then I'm not going to be successful in the fucking situation. I'm just not. Like, and that has been my success this entire fucking time is my ability to dictate how the fuck I feel right at this second. The only thing I can't do is fucking make myself angry, which is the craziest thing after being 15, 16 years old and being angry all the time.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just it's funny. I'm having a hard time, like, because I'm used to so much extreme in emotion in my
Yeah.
emotions, and I'm not having the extremes that I am used to. And it's kind of throwing me for a loop, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm like, who that? Who are you? But it's actually clarity. It's being able to not just trigger the fight or flight. That's from the trauma, the root of the trauma, which we're getting to in therapy. But that not having to, not feeling like I have to do that,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't know, like with my therapist, we've worked in a very, very odd way. He's never asked me about my individual trauma of like what happened here, what kind of survivor are you, what have you dealt with, anything like that. It's all been how are you feeling today? What do you need to talk to me about? How can I help you? Like it's all so topical and direct of like this is how you fucking work on this or work on that. It's been really nice. And for the first time in fucking 20 years, I don't have pain when I'm talking about my sperm donor of a father anymore.
Good, good.
Like, and everybody says, "Oh, you have to talk about it and you have to say exactly what happened and that's how you heal it." I don't think that's the truth.
Right.
I don't think everybody's that answer because
Well, it's
there's
not
some people that
everybody's
just
truth.
want to
Yeah.
internalize it.
Yeah, it's not going
Everybody
to be
just
the
wants to
answer
let it
for
go.
everybody. Right. Yep. And that's best for some people, but some people, the letting go, they don't quite let it go. And so maybe they have to do another technique. People are every the way you deal with your traumatic situations are different from person to person, but that's a testament to how you process things, because you're
Yeah.
clearly taking it back and doing that internal work as you're having those conversations in the forefront with your therapist.
Yeah. And I think I've done a lot where it's like, why do I want to feel this way in this situation? And is a lot of it subconscious? Absolutely. Am I actively having those thoughts always? No. But there are a lot of times I will wake up in the morning and just feel like shit. And I'm like, okay, why the fuck am I feeling like shit? If I can't pull myself out of feeling like shit right at this moment in this situation, then I'm just letting myself feel like shit. And that's not okay.
Yeah, like I'm getting on myself early for that too. Like I'm typically like very very open and raw in the morning, and I kind of have to like zip my emotions up to kind of be able to not like feel every single thing that comes at me. But I'm able to, catch myself if, and it's not every day anymore. So it's nice to be able to have that break. And then when it does happen where I have a challenging start, I'm able to talk to myself and, be like, hey self, what's going on? What are you upset
Yeah.
about? What's the
Well, I,
sitch?
I think a lot of it starts like if you're looking at normal everyday things and you're feeling like shit every single day, the easiest thing to do is reframe how the fuck you see life.
Yeah.
It's not, oh fuck, I got up this morning. It's I got to wake up this morning. There's millions of people that didn't fucking wake up this morning.
Yep.
You beat a fucking statistic already. Keep going.
And that's the word, reframe. Like if you are stuck in the doom and the gloom of life, you're going to continue to be stuck in the doom and gloom of life as long as you feed that. But if you can reframe the thought, and if you don't understand what that means, just a simple Google search will help you. You can reframe that negative thought. You can learn how to reframe those thoughts into more positive thoughts, because really, honestly, it is what you think is what you live, and it gets into your self-conscious. And even if you're not thinking it about you, you're going to internalize those thoughts, because the subconscious doesn't know anything but self.
And like the biggest one that everybody says is, oh, I have to fucking go to work today.
Yeah, no, I
Number
get to.
one, if your answer is, oh, I have to go to work today, and you don't like that place so fucking bad that you dread it,
You need to
if you're
find.
if you're in a place where you can change it right now, fucking change it.
Yep.
Quit your bitching. Quit standing on your high horse if I can't do this. So many people are still living at home with their parents. We're
Mhm.
still just accept, accept, accept. Okay, so fucking change it.
Yeah,
You're
if you're not in
already
the
accepting
space,
anyway.
exactly. If you're not in the space right now to change it, then make a list of the steps that you need to take in order to be able to change it, and work on something that has to do with that goal every single day. That's how you level up. You don't just let it go all around and around in your mind. If you have to make the list to hold yourself accountable, get an accountable buddy and move forward with your life, do that. Make sure it's somebody
And
that you trust and somebody that's not going to pull you down on the
watching
other
Bree
end.
change in the last job she had until now has been absolutely fucking amazing. Before Joshua, she was struggling with throwing up because of morning sickness and just didn't want to do anything. Just was feeling like shit. We lose Joshua. She ends up going back to work, cleaning and stuff like that. And she was able to not miss a single day of work the entire time since she started. And she just changed jobs and she looked at me and said, this really isn't anything anymore. And I'm like, yes, you got it. Like, I'm so proud of you for being able to finally see it. It doesn't matter what it is. You're getting out of the house for a little bit. You're fine. You're okay enough to do it. You're physically capable of doing it. That's all that fucking matters. You go in, put in your fucking hours, get out whatever enjoyment out of it you possibly can,
Yeah.
and then get the fuck back home and enjoy what the fuck other time you have.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, I finally get it. And I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're able to finally see that. And it was so surreal to finally see that change.
Yeah. I feel like a similar situation with Sarah in her job. And she's doing a lot of growth, and she doesn't necessarily like. Okay, so she loves her job, but it's the people that she works with and the tiny man she works for. That's the problem. But she's really awesome at her job, and so watching the growth from I oh yeah, you're going to talk to me like that? Well, deuces, I don't have to go back. Watching her grow from that to, yeah, it's not acceptable for this man to be talking to me like that. So I applied to this amount of jobs per day, and we need to, come up with XYZ so that I can apply to these other ones, because this isn't going to work for me anymore. Watching her reframe that exit strategy from watching her do something, back as far as I've known her do something the same way again and again and again, to framing an exit strategy that's best for her and makes her feel good about herself is an amazing thing, to watch somebody grow.
And
it's awesome.
Fix the things that are wrong, that they were shown that were okay and everything else.
Yeah.
Like I called Bella and foul on it one day. We have a group chat where everybody in the family is there because we were planning vacations and family dinners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Bella's like, oh, I'm the most important person at my job. You need to stop that thought process. And now. I was like, your dad says the same shit? I love him to death. No way.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good mindset to have, because when something happens, that that something normal happens at the job and you didn't think that it could touch you because you think you're, the anchor of your job, well, you'll be replaced in half a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So don't, especially
if you died tomorrow, your fucking obituary would be out after the lawn ad for your job.
Yeah, that definitely is going to be placed first. Yep.
And it's like that situation blew my mind to like actually see it happen. When I was working a box store job and everything else, I watched it happen a couple times, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Literally, I broke my fucking neck for them, and it didn't fucking matter.
Right. Yeah.
I was in a hospital room with my arm entirely purple, and I had managers calling me and telling me that I didn't come to work today. Yeah, I didn't fucking come to work. I have hospital paperwork. Oh, we don't accept that. Well, you can suck on my left nut.
I mean, they paid for it.
Yep. But honestly, look at life and see where you can improve. And even if it's little things like, did I make sure I ate breakfast this morning? Change it and reframe it exactly how to do it. Because some days, dude, you could fucking fix it. Even if it's something as small as taking fucking sour candy that you've never eaten in your life and you hate it, just to rechange how the fuck you look at the world and change a fucking part of you that you don't like. Yep. Make yourself a better rounded person. Take the class online and get a new fucking degree or whatever and fucking actually better yourself. And realize that if you say nobody could say I'm a bad parent, a bad person, whatever, you're probably a shitty one. We'll see you fucking next time.
Peace.